Okay, time to talk to our doctor. But before that, a happy belated birthday to Mrs. Victoria Pepra from your loving husband, Mr. Andrew Pepra, sorry, and also from Nana Adisi. So, happy belated birthday to you, Mrs. Victoria Pepra. Okay, from your husband and Adisi. And good morning, Dr. Senyo.
Yes, good morning, Doc.
Good morning. You guys have been really, really hot this morning. Why do you bring politicians here?
Dr. Haskell.
We hope that we can get them to talk about pertinent things going on in the country. Because they're Ghanaian citizens.
They always just get slide into.
But isn't that how everything is these days in Ghana? Everything turns into
but it shouldn't be so.
We should get to a time when people sit down, they tackle issues. Give me 4 points why this should happen.
Look,
4 points why
Doc,
that should happen.
elections are coming up. Everybody's interested
People
in power.
are just going to, I know.
So you can start one way, it will always end there.
But there's one thing for sure, I always stay on health.
Yes.
We'll be on health.
That's why we love you. Okay, so today we're looking at skin bleaching and specifically what exactly it does to the skin. Because you hear this all the time, don't bleach, it's not good for you, it's harmful. But do people really understand what skin bleaching products do to you and hence why you should not do it? Why it's so harmful?
All right, let's quickly look at what skin bleaching itself is. Okay. There's a place for skin bleaching in medicine. You know, I'm sure you've seen some people with some bad birthmarks.
Yes.
Some people who've had some injury, and then after the injury, the healing of the skin comes with like darkening, which we call hyperpigmentation, post-traumatic or post-inflammatory. And then there are some people who have certain skin conditions that eat up the pigment in certain areas, leaving the adjoining skin, you know, intact. So you have like patches of fair and dark skin and all of that. I'm sure you know about vitiligo and all
Michael
of
Jackson's
that.
issue.
Some people, after pregnancy as well, when their skin changes, when they have all these melasma, chloasmas and stuff, after delivery, it doesn't go away. And then it affects their skin. So most of all of these people would need some form of skin bleaching agents, sort of to smoothing the skin color tone. And then some of these people as well, the darkening of the skin especially is an inflammatory process that's going on and with time could destroy their skin.
Oh, okay.
All right, could lead to even neurological problems. All right,
so in
some
that
of
case,
them.
treating it
in that case, treating it is better.
Right.
So then we have potent agents that must be regulated and given only by prescription from dermatologists and specialists for these people, and then they need to be monitored. All right. Okay. Now, so that's the genesis of all these products. Of course, once somebody has seen that, oh, this thing could easily bleach my dark spots and tone it to be evened out with the surrounding skin, then if I'm dark and I want to be fair, why don't I just use it? So then comes the trouble. Now you're applying something that needs to be applied to small portions of skin to the whole of your body or larger areas, so to speak. So whatever side effects you would generally get from any drug or any agent for using it in a small area now become side effects that will take over your whole body. And that's where there's trouble. Now most of these things I've said, it's better for people like Caucasian skin and stuff. All right, and people who live in temperate areas. All right. Now, when you come to Africa and Asia, and people who live along the equator, where our exposure to sunlight is longer than other people in other parts of the area, then removing melanin, which is the dark pigment in our skin, becomes rather dangerous. Because you see, this melanin is what filters out the dangerous rays from the sun. I'm sure you've heard about ultraviolet rays, A and B and all of that. Most of these rays, if they are allowed to go through the skin into deeper cells, will begin to change the composition of DNA in those cells. And from what we know, changing DNA triggers the body to quickly start repairing. And we know that if you are beating a laborer to be fixing something, it's possible that that laborer will be making mistakes because of the pressure you are giving them. Now, a laborer that is allowed to build freely would do a better job. So anytime your body is forced, like being whipped, to repair DNA all the time, there could be mistakes in the DNA that could be carried on. Now, if that mistake in the DNA would lead to a defect in the control mechanism of growth, then cancer can then begin.
Ancient cockroach.
All right. So then this is where the link is. And of course, some of these agents have been tried in lab rats and stuff, and they've seen a little link. And I emphasis on a little. We just have to be fair to these agencies and those people who produce these things. A little link with cancer. So likely to cause cancer. And most of those agents are the ones that have mercury.
Right, okay.
So mercurious oxide, iodide, all of that. If you see that in any of your creams, there's trouble.
Okay.
All right. And then there have been some banned steroids as well, which should not be in there. All right. And then we also have hydroquinone. Now, hydroquinone is a benzene derivative, and benzene is like a petrochemical agent, all right? So you find it in paints, you find it in photographic film developing agents, dyes, and all of that.
Oh, so when you're bleaching, you become a photographer.
The agent in there could be using. Right. So this hydroquinone as well, if it goes above 4%, there's trouble. Although not so much research has been done in that area.
Okay.
So you see that in America, when it's less than 2% in any cream, you can buy it over the counter. But when it is above, if it's between 2 and 4%, then a doctor will have to prescribe. That's what I started my submission with. Okay. Above 4% is not good for human use. Not even in photographic films and all those. So all those people who work in photo X-ray development and dyes and all of, we teach them ways to handle these chemicals so that they don't get exposed to it. Now in Africa and Asia, where people just want to lighten their skin and glow, want to become like Kokui, they were not born like that.
Like natural.
Natural, I mean like, what I'm saying is that they were not born that way. So now they convert skin like my own to look brighter than Kokui's own. It means that they've taken all the pigment out of their skin.
That's serious.
And that thins the skin a lot.
And they get, you see as there's some burnt.
Some spots.
It looks like the skin is burnt.
Yes.
Look, I don't know why, but Doc, I don't know why women think that men are
and some men, men bleach as well.
Women.
No. Yes. Well, a lot of men bleach as well. A lot of men bleach as well, especially men who use sexual preference.
Gabi, the light guy. The guy who, he's using carotone.
I think his is natural.
No, he uses carotone. I've seen
We don't want to mention any brand names.
Right,
okay. All right.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, he uses
there are a lot of products on the market that tout, and now they're saying, oh, what is it, lightening or toning?
Skin toning.
Are those just other words for
bleaching?
Or is there something? Is there a difference between lightening, toning?
Well, there is. You see, we have what we call skin whitening. Skin whitening is the same as skin bleaching.
When it hits the bottom,
that's when you are actually, getting a hyperpigmented skin, like a dark skin, to change totally.
Those people, they look almost transparent.
Yes, and we call certain things skin toning, and all of those skin toning agents are really supposed to be natural agents, milder agents, which when you use, it sort of like removes, quote unquote, dirt.
Yeah, okay.
Things that generally are not supposed to. So they remove dead skin, all the dead cells that are not supposed to be there are sort of washed away, revealing newer cells. But trust me, most people overdo it. So skin toning as we know it to be is not what people are practicing. Now, the dangerous thing is this, that in areas where regulations are lax, where the entry points for these agents are fluid, all right, or non-existent, what happens is that you have companies in Asia and some parts of Africa, especially Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, all right, who are not being regulated. So they are using hydroquinone about 4%. They are still using mercurious oxide and iodides, which are not supposed to be used anymore, and they are using banned steroids as well.
What is it? When you see the faces of some women, you see it is bent, and around their neck area.
Yeah, you see, the problem is this, that when you scrape your skin, say with a blade, what happens? When it grows, it's a scar. All right, it will darken. And so these people overdo, they basically take off all the top layer of their skin.
I know people who do every day, all over their body, they take their time.
The people who do the wrong bleaching, because they've applied the wrong agents, immediately you peel off, so to speak, peel off the top cover of your skin. You know, the one underneath doesn't grow well. It doesn't put better cells there. So basically the next day it starts to darken. And then they quickly have to shed that off until they get to a point where the skin becomes so thin.
And you see the veins.
Yes, and when the skin becomes thin, you begin to see those blood vessels.
Yes.
And then also, because you've removed the top layer of your skin, which is supposed to be a barrier against infection. We've talked about the radiation bit, but infection as well. When skin becomes paper thin or one cell thin, then bacteria, which generally would have been on your skin and stay there because there's a barrier blocking it from going inside, will now gain access. So most of those women, to enter scolum. And most of those women who do these things have skin infections all the time. And these infections heal with scarring. So you see someone who's done bleaching for 20, 30 years, and they look like Kaka Muntobi. Yes, and we don't have to.
Is it true that people, aside from the topical agents now, that people are taking pills? Is that something that's accurate?
Yes, some people are taking pills. Mainly, they are taking some steroids. When you swallow steroids, you are at risk of so many things. There are some people who have chronic inflammatory conditions, which will be dampened by taking steroids. And these are regulated. We are following them up. We are checking to see if we are suppressing some body organs or not, and all of that. If they are developing lymphomas, certain cancers, we regulate them. So if you are taking it for the sake of beauty, and there's nobody regulating your use, you stand a risk of developing diabetes. You stand a risk of developing a condition known as Cushing's syndrome. You stand a risk of developing certain cancers, and then you stand a risk of destroying your skin as well.
Wow.
All right, so all of these things, and then of course, recurrent infections. Some people are taking...
Don't those who bleach, especially the ladies, don't they know of all these dangers before they go into it?
Bleaching is like being, coming from one side of a mountain, okay? Getting to the top and then sliding down the other side. Now, I'll tell you what, when you are struggling to make your skin beautiful, you see, you struggle. Every day you apply, and then all of a sudden you get to the top where everybody's saying, oh, your skin is glowing. Actually, that's the time to stop. But most people continue, and then they begin to now slide down on the other side of it. So they really can't hold themselves back once they are going down the slide. That's where the problem is.
What do they need that kind of skin for, Doc?
Well, I'll tell you the problem. The problem is this, that in life, people are not happy with what they have, all right? When you always glorify certain types of beauty, then people begin to wish to be like that. Now, if you see a big billboard of a woman that was born light-skinned, all right, being promoted as somebody who enjoyed using a particular product.
That's misleading.
It's very misleading. So you see, if you go to America, especially...
Sorry, Doc, there's Major from Tantra here who wants to talk to you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, thanks for calling, Major.
Yeah, please, I just want to thank the doctor.
Right.
And please, I want him to advise our Zongo youth, especially the ladies. They like bleaching a lot, and I think maybe some are illiterate. I think maybe they don't know about it. So I don't know whether maybe if we can see you, so you come and counsel them for them to know what is going on. That's the reason why I called here.
Okay, thank you so much.
We're always ready. Whenever you put people together and you organize something good, in terms of putting the people in one place and you invite us, I could count myself, or I could send someone to come and talk to you.
We'll put doctor's number out so that you can contact him.
Yes. And I think that, it's not particularly fair to limit it to Zongo youth. Actually, everywhere.
Some educated people.
Some are very educated people. All right. Now, to be fair to people, there are certain natural agents as well that could tone your skin without giving you all of these adverse health effects. But I tell you again that the danger of radiation-induced skin cancer is there, it's present and live. So even if you are using natural agents, natural scrubs, natural, I'm sure by now you know that all these blueberries, wild berries, all of them, they have agents in them that act like hydroquinone and all of these things. All right. So sometimes you have people telling you that, oh, these are just natural. Everything in there is natural, but they also stand the risk of eroding the protective layer of the skin.
What happened to that?
Be careful.
And shea butter.
Oh yes,
shea butter. That's why I
is
use.
super good. Shea butter is super. Cocoa butter as well is good. And then carrots as well. You have certain formulations with carrots, with berries and all of that.
Drink a lot of water.
Anything that begins to change how your skin is.
Changes
the housing.
If you change the housing, there's trouble.
Okay. Like Patrice is asking, why someone wants to change their skin? I can only assume the person just thinks they will look better if they're lighter. But why not just preserve your skin tone and make that smooth? If you're dark, you're chocolate. There are some chocolate beautiful. Zenaida, she's not here anymore, but she has some of the most beautiful dark skin you'll see.
You have so many beautiful women with dark skin.
Patrice.
Patrice,
Dr.Senyo with dark skin.
Dark chocolate.
Now I'm jealous. I think that my skin is fine too. But if you look around here, I mean, Nane Kuya was here, Selena, and people are born with light skin, like yourself, who keep a good tone. Now, some people, when they've been exposed, I mean, I'm talking about light skinned people who are also bleaching. When they've been exposed to, yes.
From Oyarifa, we have patients on the line. Good morning.
Patients.
Sorry.
Okay,
so when people with light skin have been exposed to our scorching sun over a long period and they begin to darken a bit, they think that they should actually apply bleaching agents. It's not true.
To bring the
Your
color
skin
back.
can be re-nourished. You can avoid exposure to the sunlight, especially by covering exposed skin, during hot, sunny days. You can actually apply sunscreen as well, which protects you from the damage from the rays. And your skin bounces back. So if you are light skin and your skin is getting dark because of exposure to the environment, you do not need bleaching agents. That your skin has an inherent ability to come back and bounce back and look glowy.
Doc, sorry, what is it about this thing that I hear that those who bleach, when you have cuts or sores, it's difficult for them to heal?
To heal, yes.
And you can't have surgery. So many things.
Yeah, you could have surgery, but you have surgery with difficulty. You give your minders a lot of help. One, people who bleach with topical steroids. Some of these steroids go into their bloodstream, bit by bit, especially those who do it over a long period of time, and you can even see blood vessels under their skin. It means you are feeling...
Looks very greenish.
Yes, sometimes bluish. These things go into your blood. Over a long period of time, it suppresses some part of your brain, which is supposed to help produce steroids. I mean, the brain and some part, some organ that lies on top of your kidneys. All right. Now, when this being is suppressed, and we take you through surgery, which is also a stress on its own, you begin to have a bad complication, which lets your blood pressure drop, and you could die.
Okay, Doc, we've got
Amma from Takrady. Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, good morning. Please, I want to ask the doctor a question.
Please go ahead.
Like, I have pimples on my face. So I decided to go to a cosmetic shop to tell them that I want something that can clear it off. So they gave me something. After applying it, I got to find out that my face is becoming fair, and some part of my face is fair, the other part is black. So what do I do?
Oh dear.
Well, you need to see a dermatologist, or you need to see, to be fair to the cosmetologist, a certified cosmetologist who knows how to inspect and examine skin. All right. In your case, I mean, you need to see the specialist. I don't want to just give a blanket solution which people will copy blindly. But you need to see a specialist, and there are certain modalities of treatment that you could go through to even the tone of your skin. But to start with, when you have a problem with your skin, see a specialist. Now, you have all sorts of kiosks along the road, which have a specialist cosmetic where you need to inspect their licenses. And you see, we also need to have our Ghana Standards Board, Food and Drugs Authority, and all of the people who are in charge going around and checking these things. And look, I started off by saying that if you have entry points that are fluid, and things get into the system and you not start chasing after them, that's not the way to go. You need to check the entry points of these things. People bring products into the country before we realize that they have bad agents in them. In a serious country, an individual could sue one of these agencies for putting people's lives at risk. You see, this woman, for instance,
her life
could go,
But then, we'll talk to Portia. When we come back, we'll find out why couldn't she monitor the change in color before she allowed everything to go. Good morning, Portia.
Good morning. Oh, thank you, Doctor. God richly bless you. But we really need this kind of discussions on TV and then gathering people for you to come and talk to them, because it's really serious in Ghana here.
Okay.
Zongo and like a lot of places. So please, kindly help us. It's really serious.
Thank you. This is the second time Zongo has been mentioned. It looks like a lot of those young girls around that community.
And it's because of what we call group behavior. You see, you have a cohort of ladies who go out together, who, you know, have boyfriends, and you know, this person
do
is
men
getting...
fuel this problem?
It will be unfair. It will be unfair to blame just men. I think that is a whole system.
It's a whole
and you know,
mindset
and marketing of these products as well. You see, if I take cream and I see a beautiful woman on there with light skin, you know, and then I see that when we have say beauty pageants, the people who are winning are of a certain skin color, I mean, not so to say in Ghana, but certain places, and then people are glorifying people with lighter skin,
music
videos choose those people.
Then
people, you know, that's why I mentioned that in Texas there's a unit that looks at how do you call it, misleading marketing, whatever. Like it's a unit created by the state to look at people who are marketing things and are possibly deceiving people.
Good. The UK, you
understand? So that's why my uncle Kofi Capito is still my good uncle. All right, we need to protect the consumers of our country.
Right.
It's so important. All right, so when we have dangerous things in our system, we need to go back and look at how they got there.
Doc, it just goes back to the point where you have a variety of creams to apply on your body. So if you are intelligent, you are wise enough, and you go and they tell you that there's this, that, why would you go in particularly for one that is going to tone your skin?
Well, so that ignorance.
So that's a mindset. That's a mindset.
Yes. Well, ignorance.
There's Desmond on the line from Ouija. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Desi.
Yeah, please, I want to contribute to the program.
Go ahead.
Straight up.
Actually, currently, how do you call it? The rate at which our women are bleaching is just too much. Everywhere, any lady out there you see, especially fair. And you look at, when you take a look at their knuckles, their elbows, and then their knees, it's appalling. It's appalling. I'll urge Doctor, maybe if they could do much more education on this. So
thank you.
Maybe our ladies out there get to know what we're talking about.
Thank
you, Desmond.
We would dedicate more time.
I think so. Like
bleaching.
You know, it's interesting because the men are calling in and they're making it clear that they don't find it attractive.
Yes, you see, so let's have
what
more.
You were saying
let's have more men saying that. Look, when you bleach, you become unattractive. He's talking about knuckles and all that. Look, there are some women who look like pandas. You know a panda?
Panda. I know a panda.
All right. So the whole animal is white, and there are some black areas. This part is black. All right. You see, when you
around
bleach,
the eyes,
it's very difficult for you to bleach this area. Because when you see the skin over here is thinner already, and there's space from here that goes all the way under your skin at the top. So most people who know how to bleach know that you can't bleach here because it wrinkles. So they will leave that part out so that they can use makeup and camouflage to cover, and then they begin to look like pandas.
And then you have the Fanta face Coca-Cola body thing. You know that still goes on too.
Me, I'm telling you this thing honestly. I met a young girl, beautiful young girl, had a chat with her, blah 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 blah. Cool. It was in the evening. We had a chat. We went into the night. Doc, I'm telling you seriously, this is a beautiful girl. The day after, when I saw her
in the daylight,
so a friend of mine was going through my phone. Was like, I know this person. Because I really mentioned the school and everything. And apparently she knew the person. I was like, but she was dark.
Oh, God.
So when I saw her, I took a close look at her and I realized that, wait, the feelings died.
Yes, totally.
Vivian, good morning. Hello, Vivian, good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Hello.
Yes, Vivian.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, I want to thank the doctor for hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hello.
Yes.
Please, about the skin bleaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the skin bleaching in Havana club outside. It's too much. It's going on badly because most of the girls over here, they are bleaching themselves. It's very bad.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
The consensus so far is
Havana is Accra.
Near the
That's around
post office.
Kotobabi.
No, is it?
Okay, here.
Yeah, I think the two.
Kotobabi
I thought it was Accra one.
I wish
That's
you
where
know
I learned how to dance.
No,
Telemon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You're talking about Havana.
I wish I could hear from someone who bleaches and the justification for why they bleach. If there's someone out there who is stuck on bleaching and you believe this is the way for you to go,
well, there's somebody
I want to know. I'm
He's
curious.
not in Ghana.
I tell you what people.
Vibes Cartel. He started. He bleached and said that he wanted to associate with people who were bleaching. You know, he had sung against bleaching
before,
and then all of a sudden he started bleaching. And when everybody was taking him on, he was like, he did it to associate with those who were bleaching.
But you never get your skin back.
No, you don't get it back. So Vibes Cartel just lied.
It's like Sammy Sosa, the
Jamaica,
baseball player too.
Yeah. You know, when you go to, that's why I started off by saying that it's a form of group behavior. You see, when you go to Havana, for instance, I've been there. I mean, when I want to learn something new, I go to Havana. And those who have been there know that there's a lot of life there. You know, you have all these Ghan youths who congregate there at night. The sports and clubs are active there. People dance throughout the night. Look, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's on there.
Thank you.
All right. So when you have a place where young people congregate and certain traits and certain looks are glorified, then other people who feel left out will begin to seek those traits and those.
Doc, what I think is that we need to do a part 2 of this.
We will do a part
like we said, we need to speak to people who are bleached and are proud of it. We'll do that one. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming in. We need to continue on this.